Today we're level two of level 8, and we're starting with the color, the influence of color in color psychology, color, and the influence of color in the zodiac. Really, color is the zodiac, or the zodiac is color. Color expresses the signs and what they mean far better and far greater than words will ever do. Color, sound, they're the two factors that can probably heal anybody, and they're present within the zodiac. But we have to start learning from our language, learning words, learning ideas. Eventually we run into the energy and the life and the frequencies that are happening. It becomes a more dynamic thing than just words. Okay, so this is a bit of a review in a way, because we start off with our 360 degrees zodiac, 360 degrees in the circle, the dot in the center, ourselves. And we're born and we extend ourselves out into the world. And there's sort of a spherical, circular nature of the world. And it comes out as we become our wholesomeness. We have the symbol of the sun. This is really the orbit. The symbol of the sun is really the orbit of a planet going around a dot, and it goes in a certain direction, or spirals in a certain direction, one way in the northern hemisphere, the other way in the southern hemisphere. So this is just, and then not only is there an inner energy going outward, there's an outer energy going inward. And we can learn astrology going out to see, measure things. We can learn to listen inside till we get the teachings of the initiates or the mysteries, and you learn to hear inner things. So we go out to the edge out on the prayer wheel, out into the circle, then we come back into the center. Okay. How we went through our understanding of light, when we went through looking at the signs of the zodiac, we saw the daylight, half of the year daylight's increasing, half of the year nighttime's increasing, half of the year daylight's greater, half of the year's nighttime greater, and then we had the two divisions and the 4 divisions of the 4 seasons and the 8 phases, and it goes on like that. It's similar to just DNA replication. Just one cell becomes 2 cells, which become 4 cells. So everything keeps splitting and doubling. And this is a sort of basic binary theory. It's the same as a family tree. We're one person. We have 2 parents. We have 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents. So we have our parents. So when you're talking about a grandparent, you have to specify whether it's your father's mother or father, or your mother's mother or father. And it's different branches on the tree. But it takes those 8 people at the beginning, like 100 years ago, it takes those 8 people to be getting it on, to have their 4 kids to get it on, so they can have their 2 kids that can get it on to have you. So this binary logic is a primary logic. It's in DNA, it's in our family tree, it's in the nature of the light and the darkness. So this family tree builds up to showing how the light and the darkness, the solid is the light and the broken. This is the I Ching, and it shows the same the cycle of the ancestors, but it puts it in a circle. And you know this by the light and the darkness increasing. Half the year light is increasing, half the year darkness is increasing. But in the center you have yourself, and you have a father and a mother, light increasing, side darkness. You have 4 grandparents or 4 seasons, 8 phases, 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, 32 great-great-great-grandparents, and 64 great-great-great-great-grandparents. And each grandparent represents 1 week of the year, 1 section of the cycle. And it took them all together, all that many people had to get together, to be getting together several hundred years ago, just to get their kids to have their kids to have their kids to have their kids, to make you possible now. Okay, so this is the DNA, and we see it by families, but you've studied it by the marriage of the light and the darkness is like the man and the woman. So you have the man and the woman, the projection, the reflection, you have the 4 seasons, and then it just builds up. So it's a similar, it falls into the same pattern as it falls into this pattern of the zodiac as well. We'll get more time into this another time, but I'm not going to spend more time. It's just association. So we have our sun, symbol of the soul, symbol of the dot, symbol of the solar system, the planets moving around the solar system, and the center of it, symbol of the sun, symbol of wholeness, symbol of oneness. So the source of light. But there's an interesting puzzle with this. Okay, which side of the chicken has the most feathers? One of my favorite little stories. Well, which side? Of course, it's the outside, not the inside. My point here is that we can follow the solar energy, light energy, out into life and radiate out and watch all the phenomena, or we can trace it back in and listen and listen and listen until we get to the inner mysteries in our life of what's within. Okay, so now, just a few ideas. Color and sound are the frequencies of time and space. Color and sound reveal the implications of the change in life. Of change, just changes we observe, we hear. From dark to light, from silence to sound, they reveal the nature of existence. And here's a basic spectrum of color. The 12 colors in the spectrum. And they're put around, and we're going to take that, and we're going to put it, look at it, like, okay, there it is, and there's the center dot and the circle around it. And we know that half the year daylight's increasing. This is done for the northern hemisphere, but the half the year where the daylight is increasing from the winter solstice to the summer solstice, that daylight increasing half in the southern hemisphere. The winter solstice is on June 21st, and the summer solstice is on the December 22nd. So it's reversed, but here we're seeing the daylight increasing and the darkness increasing on the other half of the year. This is the phenomena of the sun reaching the earth, reaching anywhere. There's a cycle, there's a phase, and we have half of the cycle, the daylight increases, half it's getting brighter, half it's getting darker. It could be changed on the hot, it could be changed getting warmer, getting colder, getting drier, getting wetter. It could be, there's so many ways you could translate words into this. In China, they use the yang is increasing and the yin is increasing. So when we see it in the circle against the color, this is just part of the logic coming into the color. When we see it in the circle of the color, you can see the greatest darkness at the top, the greatest brightness at the bottom. It could be argued that the yellow is the greatest brightness. We'll get to that, but it's the division between the orange and the amber. That's the extreme solstice. And so we have but you can see the daylight increasing half. As you put it into color, it goes from dark to lighter colors. And then the nighttime increasing half goes from light to the darker colors. So from the dark blue up to the orange, and from the amber up to the blue, dark blue again. So we've been looking at it as behavior daily increasing. As the daily increases, there's more time we can see more, we can do more, we're more active. So that's valid. You've done enough that you know that's real. It's not a theory, it's an observation. This is taking that same observation. Those behaviors are interwoven with color. So the daylight increasing half and the darkness increasing half has a color that goes along with you're trying to be more independent, free, you're trying to belong more. I find these associations, these observations are just so incredibly alive and profound and inclusive. But it certainly takes, just as the daily increasing, dark increasing, really we use the words to see it, but we experience it phenomenally as a texture of life, whether it's in the seasons of the year and the hours of the day, we still experience that. But when you add the colors to it, you get the shade as light and darkness goes. It really makes different spectrums of the color, the different accentuations of the color spectrum. Then we saw the next category we used, the darkness is greater. First category is that light is moving to increase, or the darkness is increasing, those two halves. But then when we look half of the year, there is more daylight than darkness. The nighttime in half the year, there's more nighttime than daylight. So this is the daylight is greater and darkness is greater half. So when half the year when its daylight is greater, that's the spring and summer. Those are the I, me signs. Doing my own thing, being active, growing things. Everything's growing, being alive. And in the fall, things are dying. Things are hibernating. Things are slowing down. Things are a little more difficult to get by. So it requires a little more togetherness, a little bit more responsibility, and a little more effort to get through the darker half than the lighter half of the year, of the day, of any cycle. But this further gets reflected in the colors. Yes, okay, good. I'll get bigger. That's one. Bigger. There.